I want to get a few questions out so that everyone understands your circumstance.
Yes, okay, so we have 7 children between the ages of 1 and 12. And I homeschool, so they're together all the time.
And you said your oldest is 12?
Mm-hmm. He has a pretty good acceptance of our authority.
Has he actually helped you in teaching?
Yes.
That's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have any advantage that comes to him because he helps you?
Yes, like he gets to stay up a little later at night, he gets gum in the afternoon when the other kids don't, stuff like that.
Does he get involved in sibling stuff?
Yes. I mean, he's very, he's the boss.
Do they recognize him as the boss?
Most of the time.
So you say he holds authority with them? pretty well?
Definitely. Like, he can put people in timeout, and they go.
And so they would go along with that? That's a really important thing. Sounds like you have the makings of a classroom assistant.
I met with you as we were getting ready to adopt, and I remember thinking this will be so important, and you spent the entire time talking to me about the other kids. And one of the main things you said was, there's not enough of you.
That's
Your
right.
oldest child.
You're badly outnumbered.
Your oldest child needs to join your team.
Yes.
So give him some responsibilities, give him some privileges, and be very clear about the fact that he is still a child, but he's a child on your team. And we took that to heart and have really created kind of an assistant co-captain.
What'd you do to do that?
Um,
How old was he when you started with this?
6, 7.
6, 7, yeah.
Yeah.
You're just getting started with him.
Yeah, just little treats, allowing him to stay up maybe half an hour past the other kids and watch a documentary with my husband, or being in charge of the keys and opening the front door, and just.
Do you think he
extra
actually has
responsibility.
a talent for asserting authority with children?
Yes, definite leader.
That's a huge help. That's a huge help.
But I will say, and I tell him this too, he has an overdeveloped sense of justice and an underdeveloped sense of mercy. And so we work on toning it down and showing
How does that
mercy.
show? Can you give me an example how that shows up?
Like if someone leaves crumbs on the table, he'll say, "You need to come in here and take care of your mess. You need to clean it up." And if another child offers to help, he'll say, "No, this isn't your mess. This isn't your job. The kid that made the mess needs to clean up the mess."
Does he get that picture from anybody else in the family?
Maybe,
just asking.
maybe a little. My husband's nodding.
And we all know who this might be. Well, you got to take that into account now. That if he's going to probably pick up what he knows about child rearing technique by what he sees. And so what he sees really, really matters. But he also can pick it up by instruction, and he's old enough to receive instruction on it. It sounds to me like you have the authority to do it, and it sounds to me like it would not be a bad idea to literally invest in him and to bring him up to snuff in certain things. I would spend some time with him to try to modify the way he sees how he's using his authority, because I think it's wonderful that he is trying out authority with children. I'll have to say, I made mistakes with it when I first started with it. I'm talking as an adult now. I made mistakes in using authority with children. I would sometimes be overbearing, and I'd realize I didn't have to go that far with it. I'm not talking about I hurt the child so much it just scared the kid out of his britches or something like that. I didn't have to do that. It wasn't necessary to do that. And I found that many children are very variable in this. Some children, all you gotta do is just shoot a look at them. You know that? And they'll stop cold. You stop cold. You just shoot a look at them. Other kids, they'll say, "What you got any more than that? That's not impressive. What else you got?" Well, you got to figure out the kid, and you got to throw whatever's necessary. You got to throw it over there, but you got to throw it over there well. And I advise you to throw it over there the first time. If you know it's going to take this amount of authority to stop it, then you put that amount into it. If you know it's going to take that amount, then that's how much you throw into it. But you put in what you got to put into it, because you want it to work quickly. You want it to be effective. You want it to not be something that's challenged. It's something that simply is submitted to. And this is a technique that he can learn. Example would be you could watch some kind of video TV show or movie or something where authority is being used, and discuss why did that happen? Why did that person obey that person? Why did that work that way? What is it that you just now saw? Did you hear how he used words? Did you see the look on his face and things like that? And you can train him this way. I think a 12-year-old is a wonderful resource right now to solving a lot of stuff. And I would spend a lot of time on working with a 12-year-old and cultivating this idea